When you have the fixed signs, this is really another. So the cardinal signs are pushy. Cancer moon, Aries moon, Libra moon, Capricorn moon. They're all pushy. They're not passive. Even though two of them are projected and two are reflective, they're still driving fairly much to establish security. When you have the fixed signs, they're fixed in their feelings. They're stubborn. This is how it is. This is how my feelings are. This is how I'm going to play out. And I'm going to stick to this. I'll take this feeling. I'm going to try and keep it the same and maintain the status quo. And like these are the signs that are inclined to drive to work the same way each day, or to sit in the same chair around the table, or to, like, Moon and Gemini would sit in different places all the time. Moon and Aries would just sit wherever's closest, wherever they land. But the Moon in Taurus, or in Leo, or in Scorpio, or in Aquarius tend to sit in the same place, have the same habits, get a regularity of the patterns that's consistent, so it's reliable to them. And they have that determination and consistency around how they're living. Well, to someone who's living them, that could just be the boringest thing in the world. Or it could be the obstacle to making changes if you're a driving moon. So these will run into each other when you're seeing it in relationships. But if you're looking at someone's primal need is to feel secure and to protect that security, to maintain it, not to change it, not to risk it, to build on it. So you have the Taurus, the Leo, and the Leo gets fixed in its sense of pride or the self-esteem of how it wants to live. The Taurus has the things it likes and the tastes it has. It wants to have the style it wants. And the Scorpio has the judgments and the feeling and the intensity. It wants the commitment. It needs the commitment. It needs to know you're there. Who are you talking to? Where were you going? What are you doing? It's almost a smothering feeling. So when positive, it's overpowering others. When a negative, it's dragging heels and judging others. Where were you? Who were you talking to? What are you doing? So the negative sides would be like suspicion and things on one's feelings, or dark memories. The positive side is a deep trust of feelings, a deep sincerity that's consistent to that person, but a sense of privacy or shyness. The Moon in Aquarius is going to intellectualize his feelings, rational, but it's going to have its fixed judgments of how I should. I know I should live like this. I know this is what I know this is true. That's not. It's being like that. So it's very fixed in its ideas. So the fixed signs, while they would clash with each other, or there would be some stress with each other, their moon signs, you can meet them any time, and their moon signs are fairly consistently the same. And some of the pushy moon signs, the cardinal ones, you notice them, but they're always going on to if one thing's finished, they start the next thing or whatever. But the fixed signs trying to maintain what is, not start anew, not go back and deal with the old. It's enough what we got. So that can be good, that can be stifling. When we get to the mutable signs, they're moving, they're adaptable. These are people with multifaceted feelings. They feel 4 or 5 different levels at the same time. They're multitasking their feelings. They can be feeling sorry for this friend here and happy for this friend there, and they're making dinner here and they got to call so-and-so or do this, and they have a diversity of feelings. So if anything, their feelings can get thinned out. They can become superficial because they're feeling so many different places. It's not accumulating in any emotional depth. Maybe in Pisces it would. So each of these, there's one element for each one. We'll come to them in a minute. But the mutable is adaptable feeling, the manipulative, perceptive, manipulative signs. So these people are feelings, and they feel something, and they can sense something going on. They're trying to figure out how they respond or how they react to it, or how I'm going to live according to this, or how do I change my life, or now that I'm married, how can I get the things I want and get around this stubborn person or that pissy person? How am I going to, like, they want to go as many different ways as they possibly can. So in the Gemini, you have the mutable air, and it's got to be interesting. It can't be boring. I've got to think of the next thing to do. I got to feel the next thing. They want to talk about their feelings. They're very independent. All of these factors start piling up, but this adaptable side, I can't stick at the same job. I can't stay at doing the same regular things every day. We've got to make it different. We've got to make it interesting. I got to get around this, but they feel the people who are stuck in the same things are boring. The people who are trying to, in the fixed feelings, they're thinking, the Geminis who are going along flaky, not reliable. But the Gemini has, the mutable signs have tremendous insights in seeing the diversity, seeing the overview of everyone and everything, and then being able to accommodate more than one, not be satisfied just one thing out of the overview. Let's adapt to here. They want multiple choices in how they're living. So whether that's having a kid and working and having your hobbies they want a diversity, and they're really restless in having this diversity. So the independence of the Gemini, and it's around intellectual interpreting things that happen to me and always finding a new way to look at the past or thinking it through. So, and there'll be always a new way of looking at it. So they're always searching with that Gemini moon. And try this, try that, live this way, live that way. Same with the Virgo moon. It's analyzing it. It's thinking about one's feelings. That wasn't so good. I'm going to improve what I can do. I can improve this habit. I can improve this lifestyle. I can fix this a little bit. I can make this a little bit better. So there's going to need to make things better. There's a need to be more independent and express better what one has. And in Sagittarius becomes more social. There's a need to express opinions and be connected to a whole bunch of enthusiastic saying, I want to go to the dance. I want to go to a sports game. Oh, like there's a need to be entertained by life and to have adventures. Not just any one. As soon as one adventure starts, it gets boring. They're going to want to go to another adventure or have other things to do. So if you get married and settle down, you have the moon Sagittarius, you can't stay at home. It's going to get too tedious. So, but this adaptability can really perceive all the choices there are and reach out. So they need to be more social and active, not in a smothered relationship. Pisces, the same way. They have this mutable water, this mutability. And they need to be. There's a need to help. There's a need to adapt. There's a need to know so many different people. Everyone they meet has a different feeling. And I feel this way. I feel that way. They have the different feelings, and that mix of feelings is where they feel secure. If there's only one feeling with one person, it's a set feeling. It's not changing. That's a prison for a Pisces. Whereas if there's, I can help this person, I have the dog, I have these other people, I have feelings in a number of different pockets or places, I'm going to feel much more secure. So often they'll have several different worlds that they're living in and several different pockets of memories that they go back in and look over at any time. It's rarely to be just one thing. Often there's a diversity of things with these mutable signs. So merging the gap between the attitude, this diversity, and the lifestyle or the way one reflects. So if a moon in a mutable sign is reflecting, what happened back then? They're going to think, well, I was doing so many things. I was doing this and this and this. They're going to remember 4 or 5 things. In a fixed sign, this is where they're going to remember kind of one thing at a time. They'll have a fixation on certain things in their memories and their reflections. And anytime you ask them, they'll reflect back to the same things. But the moon in the mutable signs would not. Moon in the cardinal signs, they're dynamically acting on their feelings and pushing their feelings before they really, without necessarily being stable. I guess you could call them the shit disturbers or the disruptors, but they're pushing their feelings. It's just as valid to do as adapting and not pushing. So the cardinal signs are more ambitious. The mutable signs, why bother? Let's change this. Let's just do that. It's different. So so each of the categories are very unique, and they start building up the unique things. So the way I'm teaching this, I'm showing you the categories. When you're looking at one sign or one planet in one sign, you're looking at a specific sequence of these things. You're not having to look at all of them. You're just going to see, oh, that's there, oh, that's there. But I want you to, this is in-depth thinking. So you want to have the depth thinking of each person's chart you're looking at. So you see the moon, you go through each step to just check off that you've looked at you gained an insight on that level, on that layer. You may not know it all together, so you may, some things you say, oh, that's not, see it so clearly. Other things you may have to work for to see. But by the time you've done each level, when you put them together, they'll come together with a much wiser and vaster awareness, which is the necessary prerequisite to coaching or healing using astrology. So you have the modes, cardinal, fixed, mutable, distinctly there. Then you have the fire signs. The moon's in a fire sign. You're going to need to live actively. You're going to need to be proud. You're going to need to show off. You're going to need to do things. You got the adrenaline to burn, energy to burn. You got to burn. You can't stand the boredom. You got to make things happen. But sometimes you can be very arrogant or proud. But I'm doing it. My instincts are telling me to do this. So That can be great for a dancer, someone in sports. You're just instinctively doing things. But none of these signs want to sit still at home. Maybe the Leo, but if they're going to sit still at home, they want the nice mega TV, they want the comforts, and they want their own entertainment center. Or their backyard with a golf course in it or whatever. But each of these elements have a cardinal, a fixed, mutable sign. So the moon in Aries is going to be very impulsive and pushy. They're going to push their feet. They're not going to wait to be indecisive. They're going to be restless and now do something. And just try anything. That impulsiveness, so when someone's living with them, they can feel very reckless because they're just pushing on impulse. They're not waiting to be sensitive to what I need. They're just pushing on impulse. And it hurts or I don't want it. So for that person, this is boring. It's going nowhere. I got to get out of here. Like if the car breaks down, I'd rather kick the car to try and start it than just sit on the side and watch and wait for someone to come. So they might try and do everything. They might have a guy, it might be a woman has a guy, and they want to feed for him. They're doing everything. They're trying to do everything for that person. It can happen that way, but it can almost be too much give and not enough take. So, and the moon will be the balance that's collecting the feelings and the experiences, and the imbalances will build up the types of disease or types of discomfort and pockets of darker, difficult memories. And then, well, when they start to come up into the surface, then you have to work and do the impulse to make other things happen too. Whew. But in the moment when you run across it, you see there's someone that's impulsive and pushy. They're restless. It's going to be hard to work with them, but they're really courageous and gutsy. They could try some things. So it might be useful. Depends where you are, how you relate to each. So you can see it one way looking at a kid or somebody who has this. You look at another way when it's you. Well, do I do this? Do I work with that? And you're saying, I'm supposed to work with that? So what you have, you're supposed to use. So if you're going to be impulsive and strong and pushy, that's not a bad thing if it doesn't hurt anybody. You don't have to push and hit somebody else. You can have a bit of arrogance in your feelings and playfulness. These are the playful moons. Hey, look at me. I want to be winner. I want to be noticed. They get the style to be proud. There's a need to feel proud and liked. And they'll push for it. They'll hold on to it. But if someone has a Leo moon and they're at the wedding and you give them the microphone, they're never going to let it go. They got the attention. They'll talk for 10 times longer than they should without the sensitivity that everyone wants to get over with this part and get to the dinner or whatever. So with the Sag, there's a tendency to have so many diverse feelings. I'm here, I'm there, I'm there. And like meeting everybody, it's hard to stay with any one person or in any one situation. So you might have a need to travel, but all of these will have a need to be active, a fire, energy to burn. And living with them is never going to be passive. They need to be active day to day and instinct and physically fit in that way.